Alright, so I just watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and this is marking the first true appearance of Deadpool in the MCU, and with Deadpool and Wolverine teaming up for the first time, and when like a new threat emerges, it is up to them to stop the threat before his whole universe demolishes as well. And I can just say this: like this is like the best and ultimate superhero movie of all time. Unlike any Marvel movie I've ever witnessed, this is the one as well. And so this will be my full review, no spoilers, but I will be doing like a spoiler discussion. But this year will be spoiler free. You don't have to worry about any of that. I'm gonna be talking about like stuff that I enjoyed, even with the action, and there's so much more. And so, if you're new here, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos, including with Deadpool and Wolverine content coming here. But now, let's talk about this movie. And now, if you guys remember, like how this film got in the making, is that this took like a long time to develop, because even like I remember the day when Hugh Jackman was announced that he is coming out of retirement as Wolverine, and with Deadpool and Wolverine and teaming up together, and now coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe to have fun, but also to have a story, and also Ryan Reynolds pitched like a ton of ideas of what he wanted to do, and even with what Deadpool and Wolverine delivered and what it offered, it delivered all that. It exceeded my expectations. It delivered a great story, but also a great comedy, great fourth wall breaking by Deadpool himself. And let me just say this. The opening sequence of this movie is the best sequence of all time, not only from Marvel, but any superhero movie in general. And the opening sequence is a banger, and from what I can pretty much tell of what they want to do with the story and with the surprises and the TVA, and this marks the true introduction, especially with the Fox characters, especially with what Marvel Studios has in store. And now I want to talk about like the man, like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, coming back into the role. And even after 2017's Logan, and with him coming out of retirement, and when it was announced that he was coming back, even for what they want to pitch this story to be, it's by having a different version of Wolverine. But like I mean, this still it pays like a tribute to like other Fox and X-Men characters that he is related to. But even though they still tell the story of this version of Wolverine, of what he did and what he went through. And of course, he did something bad, but even for what his story is presented, of what it is portrayed, it is absolutely brilliant in my opinion. And even though, and with his feelings of what he has felt from his years as the Wolverine, and trying to make things right, and yeah, there is so much to this I want to discuss. But throughout the entire movie, you really get a feel of what Logan, aka Wolverine, has been through. But even just from start to finish, it really feels like a real superhero movie with the return of Wolverine back on screen. And even with this sequence, I'm not gonna spoil the witch, but it put the biggest smile on my face. I'm pretty sure you have seen rumors by now, but you have to see it for yourself. Next, I want to talk about how the the story it really elevates the movie so much, because I mean, with this movie, I mean it's on the story of Deadpool, who has to see the multiverse from a threat that is with Cassandra Nova, and he has to go out and find this specific version of Wolverine. And it was so good to see him in the yellow and blue suit, especially from the comics, from the animated series, and to see him don it in this film is a real special treat, especially for fans. But for my overall experience, I thought it was pulled off brilliantly, and especially with the action. And on top of that, I want to talk about the cameos, because even though but even with the cameos that are presented in this film, they do serve a purpose. I mean, unlike Multiverse of Madness, that was completely different. But even with this film, the cameos are really served as a purpose because these are like the fallen heroes that were taken out of the world and put into the void. That's what the trailers and the marketing in this film wanted to tell us that. And trust me, when the cameos come on screen, you'll be applauding from your seat. And there are some moments like there will be insane audience reactions within the next couple days. But I'm guaranteeing you, like these are like characters that you'll really enjoy on screen. And plus, even with the action that is served, there's like so much good action, like especially like it kicks off right away, and it's like non-stop. It's like really fast paced, by the way, but it continues on and on and on and on. And you with Deadpool and Wolverine fighting and their like team up, and but even though they start up on the bad way, but even like towards like the second and third act is ultimately insane. Even like talking about Cassandra Nova, who's like the villain of this movie, who's like in charge of her own army. She has a giant Ant-Man helmet, and even for what the jobs were for Deadpool and Wolverine, it's sort of like defeat her, like. But I'm not gonna like spoil any details. But like she is the true villain. Like what you've seen, like she has like control over this Wolverine and what she made him do. But even like with what her character is presented, so sort of like a villainous way, like especially towards like the end, it is really powerful. But I feel like it is like such a good villain arc. Maybe because she is the twin sister of Professor Xavier, but I mean this is like the feeling of with this version of Wolverine of what he stands for as a character in the Marvel universes, but especially from 2000's X-Men all the way up until now. It is brilliantly done on screen, and even with the TVA and their involvement in this movie, it is really good. And even for what Wade has to do in order to save his world. And I mean, and even Matthew McFadden, who plays Agent Paradox, the TVA agent, even though I sense that there's something like not up with him, but I'll talk a little bit more when we get into more of the spoiler territory, and soon enough. But even though I really enjoy this film, like there was never really a dull moment. Like I just really enjoyed what it delivered, like even from the void, and it's its own self-contained like a standalone story, but also not having these like out of place cameos, and they do serve a purpose. It is the most enjoyable stuff I've had to see. Especially towards the end, it really sets up for what's in store for Deadpool and Wolverine, because they're going to be sticking around in the MCU for a while, even after this movie. Because I mean, this is not totally the end. Like they brought back Hugh Jackman out of retirement as Wolverine, as Logan, and I hope that at these two appear in more films, especially the next Avengers films or whatever they have set up. But and then also there is a post-credit scene that you should definitely stick for. But I mean, it doesn't set up anything too crazy. Like, but it's just like like a gag or something. But it's funny, just like stick around for it, and you'll get a kick out of it as well. But anyways, I mean, like this is a movie that I really enjoyed. Like, I mean, like for me as a fan of Marvel, for the MCU, and this is the ultimate superhero movie of all time. And like, I mean, like it felt like that, and you were just like witnessing Deadpool breaking the fourth wall about everything. It was the ultimate chef's kiss. It was like top tier Marvel. I mean, this is the film that we all need, and I hope audiences really get a kick out of this movie, because this is a movie that we'll cherish forever, and this movie sets up so much for the future of the MCU, including for the Fox X-Men characters, the multiverse. I mean, like even with the Void, and there's like so many Easter eggs that I want to talk about, but man, I want to say that for like the spoiler review, and it's just an enjoyable time. And wow, I mean, I'm like speechless right now for what I just watched. But this went way beyond my expectations for what I wanted in this movie. All the rumors, cameos, blah blah blah. But it definitely serves its purpose. From the story of Logan, I mean Wolverine, Deadpool, and even for what he's up against. It is a very fantastic told story. And so, for my final thoughts to wrap this all up, this is the movie I really enjoyed with Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, I really enjoyed the story, the action, and even with the way that it is structured. And even, I mean, bravo to Sean Levy because like he's directed some great and incredible stuff, but to see him bring his A game to the MCU, and even for what his directing style is especially with the story of Deadpool and Wolverine, like, and even this is like a standalone story, but like poking fun at other stuff in the MCU, or yeah, I mean, because that's what Deadpool does. He does a fourth wall breaking. But anyways, the point is, I enjoy this movie. It is a 10 out of 10 for me. I think Marvel it is back. But yeah, like, it's like not just the best, but the ultimate superhero film of all time I've ever witnessed as well. And so yeah, so stay tuned for the spoiler review that we could come out either tomorrow or some other time. But yeah, as you do it for this video, just let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, and if you've seen the movie, give me a rating between 1 out of 10. I'm curious to hear your opinion. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos. You can also follow all my social medias, all of which are linked down below, including my Patreon. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.